Was childhood really better back then? Or does the past just know how to tell a good story? Somewhere in memory, there's a long summer afternoon, crickets humming, kids flying by on bikes, a melting popsicle in one hand, and a feeling of freedom that didn't need a name. Every generation grows up with the same quiet conviction. My childhood was something special, maybe even better than what kids have now. Memory doesn't record facts, it records feelings. The brain is not a camera. It doesn't capture everything as it was, it curates. And when it curates, it keeps what makes us feel good. Laughter, popcorn, a parent's hand in a dark movie theater, the bad grades, the scoldings, the anxiety, they fade. And what's left is something warmer, cleaner, more beautiful than the truth. That's why we don't remember childhood accurately. We remember it like a film that's been color graded by the heart. When play didn't need instructions, just imagination. Before screens, before apps and tutorials, play was unscripted. A cardboard box could be a spaceship. A stick could be a sword. The backyard was a jungle, a battlefield, a secret base. The world was bigger, not because the map was larger, but because the child's mind was free to invent it. No notifications, no likes, no achievements to unlock. Just winding your hair and the thrill of not knowing what would happen next. Freedom without calendars, checklists, or adult supervision. There was a time when kids left the house in the morning and came back when the streetlights flickered on. No tracking, no texting, no hovering adults micromanaging every hour of the day. Time moved slower. An afternoon could stretch on like a whole week. And from the open spaces of unstructured time emerged the most vivid, unexpected, unforgettable memories. When dinner tables were places of connection, not just shared space, dinner used to be sacred. Everyone sat down together. No phones, no TV, no earbuds. Just food, stories, and eye contact. Holidays weren't about content. They were about presence. BBQs in the backyard, wrapping gifts under a real tree, listening to Grandpa tell ghost stories by the fire. Childhood was nurtured not only by family, but by a sense of community, by the feeling of belonging to something larger than yourself. Why we always remember childhood more vividly than anything else, psychologists call it the reminiscence bump. Our brains are wired to remember most clearly the years between 10 and 30. Why? Because those years are filled with firsts. First crush, first betrayal, first big dream, first heartbreak, first burn deeper, which means childhood becomes a reservoir of emotion we keep returning to when adulthood becomes too sterile, too fast, too quiet. The cycle never ends. Every generation romanticizes the past. Once people worried that kids were watching too much TV. Then it was video games, then smartphones, then social media. The same fear recycled. Kids today are losing their childhood. But strangely, those very kids grow up, and one day they say the same thing about the next generation. Maybe it's not that childhood is getting worse, but that we're standing too far away to see it clearly anymore. Like a mountain range at sunset. What's far away always looks more peaceful, more golden, more still. Childhood was never perfect. It was just full. No one had a flawless childhood, but memory doesn't ask for perfection. All it needs is truth. A fight with a best friend that ended in a lollipop truce, a graduation from 5th grade in an oversized shirt, a rainy night listening to scary stories on the radio, curled up in a blanket. None of it repeats, and that's exactly why it stays. And in the end, childhood isn't better because it was better. It's better because it's gone, because we lived it without knowing we'd one day miss it, because we felt everything: love, fear, boredom, joy, without a filter, without distraction, without knowing what it meant. And maybe that's the point. We didn't know we were making memories. We just thought we were having fun.